She spoke softly, too softly, the kind of tone people use when they believe the truth is safe in another language. We were sitting across from each other at the kitchen table, 2 mugs of coffee between us, steam rising like ghosts from a grave neither of us wanted to name. Her friend had just left, a woman from her university in Tokyo. They'd been laughing, whispering, exchanging glances that carried too much familiarity. I didn't mind, not at first. Then, as she poured the last of the coffee, she sighed and said in Japanese, "He still doesn't know. I'm still with the one from Kyoto." The words slid through the air, smooth, deliberate. She thought they were safe, wrapped in foreign syllables, protected by the walls of my supposed ignorance. But I understood every word. Every word. I didn't move, didn't breathe. I only watched the steam die from my cup, thinking, how easily love dies when you start to translate it. That night I lay beside her, still and cold, while she drifted to sleep, her breathing steady, mine silent. My mind played her words again. The one from Kyoto. Not a friend, not someone I used to know, present tense. I thought about her business trips, the late-night calls she took on the balcony, the unfamiliar cologne that clung to her suitcase once. The signs were always there, like brushstrokes beneath the painting of our life. I'd just chosen to see the colors, not the cracks. My first instinct was denial. Then came the calculation. If she didn't know I understood, that was my advantage. I could listen longer, watch closer, let her reveal the rest without realizing it. The next morning she kissed my cheek before leaving for work. I smiled, said, "Be safe." But inside, a quiet war began. I started collecting fragments, little things, digital footprints, receipts, patterns. She said she was at a client dinner on Friday. The hotel reservation in Kyoto said otherwise. Under her name, 2 guests, 1 room. I didn't confront her. I watched. The human face can lie, but time doesn't. And time was slowly confessing for her. I found messages written in Japanese, hidden in her archived chats. She assumed I couldn't read them, but each one felt like a blade turned gently against my ribs. "I dreamt of you last night. He still has no idea. I'll tell him one day, I promise." I read every line twice, in silence. The nights grew longer. She laughed more easily now, lighter, freer, as if deception itself had become her oxygen. I kept my distance, but memorized everything: dates, flights, lies. To her, I was still the naive husband who smiled too much. To me, she was already an autopsy waiting to be documented. The confirmation came quietly. An email from the investigator I'd hired in Osaka. Photos, dates, records. Her and him. Every image captured what she thought was hidden. Hands touching across tables. Hotel entrances at midnight. The kind of intimacy that doesn't need words. When she came home that evening, I was waiting. Dinner was set, lights dim, her seat pulled out, waiting like a confession booth. I didn't speak as she sat, just slid a small envelope toward her across the table. She opened it. Silence. Then her breath fractured. Her eyes searched mine, desperate for emotion, for anger, for anything. But there was nothing left to find. You understand Japanese?" Her voice trembled. Finally, something true. I nodded once. Slow, cold, final. She tried to speak, to explain, to twist the truth back into something digestible. But I'd already digested everything, every lie, every syllable. "It wasn't serious," she said. "It was just—" "A translation error?" I interrupted. She broke then. The kind of break that doesn't make noise. Just silence and shaking hands. I stood, walked to the window. The city lights burned like distant accusations. I left the signed divorce papers on the table beside the envelope. She reached for me once. Pathetic, trembling fingers trying to hold on to what she'd buried. I didn't move. "He doesn't even love you," I said quietly. "He just doesn't understand what you said." Then I walked out. The air outside was cold, sharp enough to remind me I was still alive. I didn't cry, didn't rage. I just walked, each step erasing a version of myself that believed in her. People think betrayal is loud, but it's not. It's quiet, clinical, surgical. It cuts, then waits for you to realize you've been bleeding. I left Japan 2 weeks later, changed my number, erased her voice from my phone. Sometimes I still hear her words in Japanese floating through memory, but they don't hurt anymore. They're just sounds, translations of a love that never existed. And that, I suppose, is the truest language of all, the silence that follows the truth.